This is part one of Wall Street's hostile takeover of America's real estate market. I'm Jen Nodine, mortgage originator licensed in North Carolina. I've been in the business for almost 30 years, and in that amount of time, I have come to learn how disgusting and corrupt our banking system is, and I feel the need to expose it. I have been researching the mortgage crisis for a number of years, and I've taken a very deep dive in the last 6 weeks. This story has a lot of moving parts, so I'm going to break it down so that everyone can understand exactly what happened and what is happening today. As far as I can tell, the plan to take over the American real estate market began first in 1977 with a man named Robert Dahl, D-A-L-L. He worked for Salomon Brothers, and apparently he had some sort of epiphany where he saw years into the future. And we don't know exactly what he saw, but he did make a proposal to the partners at Salomon Brothers, who then allowed him to start a new department at the firm. And that was Wall Street's first mortgage securities trading desk. And there are just many things wrong with the genesis of this new department that I need to make a whole video out of just that. He gets to choose someone to help him get this new department off the ground. Here is our first indication that something is up with this new department, because he doesn't choose like an MBA to help him make it successful. He pulls somebody out of the mailroom, a college dropout named Louis Ranieri, an Italian guy from Brooklyn. He doesn't fit into Wall Street at all. He specifically chose someone who was ignorant of the laws and regulatory requirements that those people have to follow. Dahl also later admitted that Ranieri was his first choice because he knew that he would be willing to lie to management if necessary. So the two qualities that made Louis Ranieri the right guy for this job were his lack of knowledge and his lack of ethics. And those two qualities made Louis Ranieri very successful in that job. He is now a multimillionaire. I've talked about him in other videos. He's part of the real estate cartel that is driving up the cost of single-family homes and the price of rent all over the country. Back when he was still just a mailroom clerk with a new promotion, he then repaid the guy who gave him this amazing opportunity and plucked him up out of obscurity. He pushed him out and it polarized the whole department and got everybody on his side, and then pushed Bob Dahl right out, and he took over the department. And that tells you everything you need to know about Louis Ranieri's character, and also about the intentions of this new department, that Salomon Brothers is up to something. Another curious detail about this new department is the timing of it. 1978, mortgage securities were not legal investments yet, and there were long-standing laws in place that prevented them from being legal investments. There was no market for them. There was no demand for them. In fact, they were actually unattractive as investments because people can pay off their mortgage at any time. Bonds, on the other hand, very safe investment that matures over time. So you agree to lend your money for this amount of time. But with a mortgage, that the borrower can pay it back at any time, and that reduces the yield. It reduces the amount of income that you got from it. And it also left the investor with a bunch of capital that they had to then reinvest. I know, cry me a fucking river. But that it made them problematic as investments. Overall, on Wall Street, the opinion was that home mortgages were small business. However, monkey see, monkey do. And when Salomon Brothers opened their mortgage securities trading desk, then Goldman Sachs and First Boston and Merrill Lynch all copied. And they opened their own mortgage securities trading departments. And they hired people. But nothing happened. These things didn't make any money. 78, they didn't make any money. 79, they didn't make any money. 1980, they didn't make any money. So all the competitors' companies closed theirs. as they're closing theirs, they're laying people off. Louis Ranieri is hiring up those people that got laid off. He's expanding his department. It's not making any money, but he's expanding. He's hiring lawyers and lobbyists. He's flying back and forth to Washington to meet with politicians and grease palms. And Salomon Brothers is just opening the checkbook and letting him do this. Now I ask you, why would they do that? Unless they knew what was coming. Unless they knew that there was a big payday coming for them, and oh boy, was there a payday coming. On September 30th, 1981, an act of Congress made them the only game in town to buy $1 trillion worth of mortgages from troubled savings and loans that had nowhere else to sell their mortgages. Yeah, it was an act of Congress that gave the savings and loans a tax break that would help them fight insolvency, but it required them to sell their mortgages. And of course, the only buyer available was Salomon Brothers Mortgage Trading Desk. So it made billions off of this one crisis. And the savings and loans were in crisis. So my next video is going to talk about that. I know it's not that sexy, but it's another important chapter in this plan to dominate and control the American real estate market. See you later.